Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for September 2nd through 9th, 2024. Well, we continue to be in very intense astrology. It's important to note that we're still under the influence of Saturn in square to Jupiter. They came together exact from the 17th to the 23rd of August, but they remain in square through this first week of September. And the pressure is on, is the feeling of this square. The square is saying, where are the adjustments that need to be made in between time and reality? And wow, these are immutable signs. And so the message is that it is quite the adjustment that we're making. So this is kind of why we're feeling the way we're feeling like, what's the point? And there's a very strange feeling of being kind of time stretched out, slowed down, yeah, all rearranged. And this feeling of anticipation, like we're waiting for something to happen. And this makes it hard to plan, hard to take care of ourselves and just follow through with our day to day reality. At the same time, the frequencies of the earth are rapidly ramping up and we're adjusting to that. Now, a lot of people are having a lot of physical symptoms right now, and this has to do with everything we're talking about, but particularly Mars. Mars rules our physical body, and when we have Mars transits, a lot of times that's where we'll feel it. And what's happening is a detox because we've got Mars is in Gemini, but coming to the end of Gemini now. And so coming into square with Neptune on the 4th of September. So this square is very powerful because Neptune sits at the very last degree of Pisces, speaking to this rehash, overhaul, reworking of the Piscean age, cleaning up the delusions and claiming back the mysteries, miracles, and magic. So it's very powerful. Mars having his square with Neptune at the end degrees of Gemini, because Gemini is about expression. And so it's saying Mars is a warrior fighting for the expression of truth in Gemini that can free us from the delusions of the Piscean age. And this is what we're finding right now. Be careful where you look because you're going to find some truths. And it's like realizing that everything we've been told is a lie. So we have to rework not just the Piscean age, the last 2,000 years, but it's this whole evolution back to Atlantean time, lies upon lies upon lies, all designed to keep us down, small, playing small, and scared of our own power. Now, this is a lot of what's coming up right now with Pluto going back into Capricorn. Ooh, that happens on the 2nd, Pluto back into Capricorn, and it's a heavy energy. It is like facing reality. And what this reality that we're having to face is where we have given our power and our energy away, where we have allowed ourselves to be programmed with fear by external authority. And then we realize that these bullies are exerting external tyrannical control because they don't actually have any power of their own. Oh, and this is it. It's all undone. It's the great undoing and the great reveal. And because we cannot go any further in our evolution until we face how badly we've been lied to about everything. And you could take one thing, of these conspiracy theories, and it will unravel your whole psyche of everything that has put you together and held you in place. And this is what we're doing, the great, glorious demolition, a great dismantling of the constructs and programming. And we have to understand that we've all been under this cult programming. Those MK Ultra experiments started back World War II and have been going on. We're all MK Ultra, and we've got to, so we have to gradually and harmoniously break out of this programming. And that seems to be the crazy upside down movie that is playing out in our world. And this is exactly the energy of Neptune. Neptune is like that place where you're so close to spirit, but you're confused at the last minute, tempted in the wilderness, right? And so this is a mirage. So the Saturn energy has an authority, and the authority of Saturn energy is like you're blocked, you can't go that way. It's the end of the dimensional, what's allowed within the constructs of, the lower matrix. Neptune has an authority around spiritual, religious control, trying to control the spiritual impulse of humanity and keep it from evolving. Well, Neptune, that's been an aspect of the authority of Neptune, but it's false authority. Neptune just represents the spiritual energy, And so what we're doing is we are uncovering the spiritual energy from out from under the lies we've been told. And that is this very powerful energy. Mars at the end of Gemini, square Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter in still at 17 degrees, 16, 17, they're within, Saturn's at 16 and Jupiter's at 19. So there they are hovering. They were at 17 degrees in that square. So we've got Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. So Jupiter, the new king, square the old king and the old guard. And Jupiter's bringing in new information. And it's like, ha, ha, truth. Ha, ha. No hiding it. The dam's about to break. And so then Mars coming into this placement with square Neptune is saying, we are not going to stand for it. We're not going to fall for it. We don't believe you and what you're telling us anymore, right? We do not believe that these injections are safe. you know, like, but we've got some cleanup to do, and that's this Mars square Neptune too. Like we said, Mars transits can bring forward physical symptoms like detox energy in the physical body. And that's exactly what's going on. Actually, I got this picture of a massive planetary purge happening, that we're all getting a detox. And that's hard. It's really, really important to remember, because when it looks like it does and feels so bad and feels so uncomfortable, it's hard to be like, oh God, things are getting worse. It's getting horrible. It's getting, oh my God, what am I going to do? I barely made it this far. And it's like, no, 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 no. These things are presenting themselves because the healing is happening. This is the evidence that the healing is happening. So you got to remind yourself of that this evil and darkness has been here the whole time in this realm. Now it's in a massive bloom, so it's like we're seeing it, but it's just a bloom, an expression, because expression is health. So whatever's going on, you got to express it. When we suppress it, then we get sicker. That's the whole mode of Western medicine, to just keep us sick and just keep us depressed. And, I think the whole world is just kind of going through this process of an ego death right now. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, if you're not on any level, you're seeing that things are not adding up. Maybe they're adding up in your world, but if you're seeing that things are not adding up, there is this massive breakdown of these constructs of who we thought we were. Now, for supernova souls, it's very, very spiritual, but this is beautiful. Now, because a lot of stuff's coming up of these old loops, old patterns, old contracts. We've got Black Moon Lilith, South Node, and Venus all together in Libra. Oh, it is intense. But remember that it is about healing. It is expressing itself so it can heal. It's got to be shown. That's the energy of Black Moon Lilith and the South Node together. So it's got to be shown. And the other message coming through from the mother is that, can you entertain maybe the possibility that it's true, that what's been stolen must be returned to us, that we are moving into a golden age, that the only way forward for humanity is into a completely different, moving into abundance economy with a different financial system as we take back our spiritual autonomy. The money or the resources that have been stolen from us, our spiritual resources, energetic resources, all are being returned, must be returned. So if there's any truth to this Jubilee, that is like it seems that a spiritual law must happen. It must, the tables must be balanced and turned, So if there's any truth to that, then the mother says right now, everything that's in the way of massive abundance in your life is showing itself. There you go. Some of us, we got some blocks, we've got Uranus and Taurus, and we just had this kite shape last week with Venus coming into that opposition with Neptune and lifting up into the kite. The exaltation and rising of the divine feminine, and what was kind of turning that whole energy. Uranus had just turned retrograde on the 2nd, or actually today just turns retrograde. And so bringing this element to that kite that's really, really important. Do we have permission for our own higher power? Pluto back at the end of Capricorn, it's a showdown of like facing down these energies that have stolen, lied to us, drugged us, programmed us, like manipulated our DNA, did everything possible to keep us from remembering who we are, but it didn't work. But we're being asked to stand up for ourselves and stand down the enemy, stare down the enemy. And it's like we know we want to get out of the battle for good, and that we're overcoming duality consciousness and these voices within this. But in order to do that, we kind of have to go into the battle a little bit more. Our last battle, our final stand, where we say, no, not allowed. The mother claims her rightful dominion over this place, and this place all must come into alignment, all must come into health, all must come into life-giving, life-supporting energies. What does that mean for you, supernova souls? That means that I know right now it feels like we're talking about the bloom of patterns. So the bloom of patterns is the energies that have been blocking you at every turn. And it's hard to see anything different, I know. But the mother says if she's claiming her rightful dominion over this place, then the resources, the energy, the movement, the vibration, the frequency now works for you. It's on your team because you're with her. So this is the turnaround moment. And how do we go from everything working against us to everything working with us? Are you ready for that? I think most supernova souls are feeling pretty mobilized in anxiety, subtle subconscious fears, and confusion about what's real, your path, everything you've been doing is falling apart, and yet there's no new way forward. You feel completely alone, even though you have been doing everything to come back to your people. It's just this feeling like you're a warrior all by yourself out there in no man's land, fighting for the mother, where nobody cares and everything's working against it. And still, you held her heart and her love in your heart and your love. Throughout this whole evolution, you did not give it up. You are her warrior. And this is the energy we're going to be feeling here, because Mars is in the square with Neptune on the 4th, and then that will go through the 9th. But Mars moves over into Cancer on the 5th, that next day. And so that shift, because Mars will still, we have the other personal planets do this too, and Mars is still going to be in that square with Neptune as he moves over into the sign of Cancer. So that energy is a huge push, taking the delusions of control-based religion and spirituality from the Piscean age and moving it into, now we're not warriors against each other for different religions. No. We're warriors together for her and with her. Okay? And that's the only way that we exterminate this scourge of just this control-based energy working through AI right now. Hold on to your soul, hold on to your love, hold on to you are in charge of the waters of your body. Do not forget, reset, reset, reset. This is the message. You are doing so much, spending so much energy, and don't realize you're doing it to reset, 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 because the last hold of the control force is about just kind of trying to fry us, but it's interesting because the picture of that, the boomerang of that one is, these creatures that have been manipulating our DNA and lower evolved from where we came from, but higher evolved than where we are now. And they have been showing themselves recently. And if you get this if you, powerful clearings, don't miss this Virgo new moon activation we just had this week. Go get that. Wow. If you feel like there's forces trying to hold you down from being the bigness of who you are, powerful clearings. And what came up was this kind of insectoid race, and then I saw this picture of how easy for Mother it would be to kind of just like a bug zapper, and it's funny because that's what they're trying to do with us. It's like they feel warranted in using frequencies against us, except for that the Mother is harmonizing everything right now. The most intense attempts to create trauma and drama at this time are being derailed by her love and our love. We know that Mother has won on some level, but we're not totally feeling it. We're feeling, But when Mars moves over into just a couple of days now on the 5th, moves over into Cancer, then we become warriors for her again. We're going to have the impetus and the energy to reconnect and feel worthy of her love. This is everything. Like, how can you receive the abundant age? How can you be a disseminator of wealth in the abundant age if you can't receive it for yourself? How can you be that miracle healer if you can't receive the miracle healing yourself? And it might feel like you're going through hell and back and dying and being reborn and dying again, but you're actually being healed. We're putting ourselves back together. It's very exciting. Wow, so it's so intense. But that Mars moving into Cancer is really powerful energy for us to reconnect back to what really matters, what we're fighting for, what we're really doing, and get on with the next part of the story, which is coming back to the Mother's love in order to get anywhere. So that's kind of the energy this week. We've got Venus, South Node, Black Moon Lilith in Libra. This is bringing, whenever Venus is in transits, it can bring up a lot of insecurities and feelings of doubt. And so Venus is really facing down the monster here, facing down. She feels very alone, even though she has garnered some support, but she's feeling very alone because she's facing down the enemy all by herself, is what this feels like. Black Moon Lilith together with the South Node. Black Moon Lilith, deepest, darkest secrets in Libra, about relationships. South Node, past karma that's holding us back. So you can put those together in one word, and we've all experienced it. SuperNova Soul's betrayal. So this is a massive healing of betrayal of the past. And just like the abundance that wants to come in, we got to clear our poverty consciousness, and for the abundant relationships and love that wants to come in, we have to heal those deep pains from the past. Because if you're still in the vibration of that betrayal, which this is, we have to understand it's probably played out in this life, but the worst betrayals are from past lives where the people that we trusted the most, our friends and family, our teachers, our comrades, our, spiritual group members, it was those ones that turned on us in the persecutions. And so when you get to a point where you're just about to trust, all these nightmares are going to come up because they never want you to trust again. So we got to learn to trust again. So we got to move through the nightmare, and that's Mars squared Neptune. Then moving into Cancer, saying, we're going to come back to the Mother's love now. So let her hold you. No one can take the love from you that she has for you because it's yours, she says. No one can take it. It feels like it. If you're going to relive a betrayal or have that triggered in your life as we begin to open our heart back up to authentic relationships, we've never really experienced that, most of us. I think we had fake narcissist people. Oh, it is hard on the heart. You think being alone is hard on the heart, but having love show up when it hasn't been there is also traumatic, and it's going to bring up because you haven't had a chance to get through. So just know that the energies of Venus coming up to the South Node on the 4th, and then Black Moon Lilith on the 5th in Libra, and those are at 6 and 7 degrees, very powerful energies, because the North Node is going to be at 6 degrees for this whole next month, for the whole next 2 months for eclipse season. 6 degrees, Aries and Libra. It's a new start for the old number 6. We're going to claim it back. Humanity's number. 6 represents our ability to move beyond the lower constructs and into our higher intuitive power. Everything Uranus and Taurus is talking about, everything that Pluto and Capricorn is the forces of trying to keep us from. And so we're dreaming a new dream. And this higher intuitive faculties we're talking about, and higher wisdom and higher technologies in our very own body, this is what Yeshua was healing with. This was a field of energy and how the healings and miracles happened. So we must reclaim this back. And that is kind of the energy of the masculine here in this square, with Neptune standing up and fighting for the feminine, moving into Cancer and fighting for the feminine, saying, oh, we're all on her team actually, because she's got what we all want. And she's got an abundant supply. We just need to support it so it can flourish and grow. So that's the energy of this massive shift back to the divine feminine and our no other way home. But in order to do that, we've got to face these betrayals, and it's a really, really vulnerable feeling. And just know that this Venus South Node, Black Moon Lilith, is going to last through the 5th, 6th, through the 6th pretty much. Into for the rest of the week, or feeling these energies, and just know that it is dark and vulnerable. It's interesting that we've got this heavy energy coming from this transit of Venus coming up with Black Moon Lilith, and the South Node opposite the North Node. And but if you think about it, Venus is the only one who's real, because the North Node, the South Node, is just a point in space. It's the interception of the orbit of the sun and the moon. And then Black Moon Lilith is a point of space, the furthest away that the moon gets from Earth. So these are all talking about dark control secrets, right? Like NASA, not a space agency. Like there's a firmament you can't actually get out of. When are we going to get the real story of what's going on? We want the real total story. Like, why do those maps not match our maps? And how deep does the whole go of the lies that we were told? But coming back to this reclaiming and healing the Piscean age, it's almost like we've got to go back and heal all of the persecutions, as we are representatives of the Christ consciousness. And so something has to be balanced and fixed if we're going to reclaim the miracles and the magic of the Piscean age. And this is kind of this thing coming up about, wow, we've got to elevate and have reverence for those doing the mother's work. These are the least paid professions, and we'll just talk about healing and care. And so we've got to come back down to what really matters. And somehow we're going to do this. Somehow we're coming back to the mother so we can come into that abundance. Part of the picture of the abundance, right? So if we're talking about the higher technologies available in our very own body, Uranus and Taurus, do we deserve that wealth? But if we talk about the healings and miracles that were happening at the time of Yeshua, at the last shift of ages, that Neptune is kind of speaking about, cleaning this up, the persecutions that came after that, the healings and miracles that happened at the time of the last shift of ages were exactly the higher intuitive gifts that the forces of control are trying to block at every turn. So now we know that we take back the miracles by taking back our higher intuitive gifts. No wonder. And I know SuperNova Soul's feeling kind of trepidation at the edge. of this big breakthrough, like energy's changing in your body, and it's natural and normal to have subtle anxieties, and your body is trying to adjust to these energies, and your body will have resistance. The last couple activations have been all about the authority contracts, healing and clearing our body to prepare to be a vessel to hold these higher frequency vibrations. Whoa, it's intense, but it is going to be glorious and beautiful. And please just remember that she says that what's coming up is what's in the way of your abundant path, your miracles and blessings and healing. And we got the message, we have to receive it first. We can't be disseminators of miracles and blessings. Is this the thing? Here we are holding the torch, holding the dream, holding the vision, like, come on, you guys, the love, the love. And yet we don't feel and receive that love in our lives. It's like we're faking it. I'm sorry it's been so empty and lost and alone. True, deep connections and love are coming for you. SuperNova. It's part of the abundance you're preparing for. So just be in that mindset. Like, what if, Mars and Cancer is going to give us a different energy. It's almost like we're Jedi warriors for the mother, and we're just like back on it. Okay, we're on the battlefield for just this last battle, but it's kind of exciting because we're kicking ass and we're feeling each other, and we're feeling the momentum grow of the prayers and the love and the talking with the waters of the earth. And having that mutual reciprocity and feeling and knowing in our hearts and souls that she is back in charge of her realm, and we stand with her. That's what came through the activation, that we are perhaps these giants that we can see in the mountains stuck in the stone. Turn to stone. And that perhaps that was how part of the way the takeover of earth happened. And can we forgive ourselves now? Can we wake back up into the giants that we are? The message that we are sentient protectors of this realm. And so we must have felt horrible when it went so bad. But, and this, is this the shame that we all carry? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's what we were looking at, why these giants are, they're holding the earth and loving the earth. Um, we've been fighting for her all along, and with her, and we've been just fighting now to get back to her dream, to the living dream, the loving dream. And nothing can stop us. We can feel this. And I think Mars moving into Cancer it's a weird couple of days with Mars square Neptune, but then moving into Cancer, it's like, all right, we don't need to figure out. She says it's already built. Don't need to build it. Don't need to create it. Don't need to figure it out. You just need to be present in the moment. Say yes to the dream, the living dream of the primary waters in your body, in your life, and wait for the next message. Just be present with her and love her. I love you so much. Oh, and the more you love her, the more she loves you back. And it's unmistakable. And the effect of this connection to the mother is a fortification of our electromagnetic field. And that's everything we're working on in that Owning Your Energetic Field course. Amazing contract clearing in that one around our permission to express our spiritual truth, our authority to express who we really are in this world. So really good clearings. Go back and get the replay of that one if that resonates as well. So it's really powerful, supernovas. It feels like everything's holding us back, and yet we know we're teetering on the edge of a whole new reality, and that reality needs you. So please remember, you're being prepared. You're initiate. You're already an initiate. You're remembering, and everything is washing away rapidly. And it's so ugly as it comes up. We have to remember that we've been doing this healing gradually, and a little here, a little there. This is so much at once. And it's hard not to feel like you're a complete failure because you're overburdened with all these programs, dramas, traumas coming up, but it's like stuff you haven't been able to deal with yet. We got this message that it's like only until this life in this evolution, that we could really go back and get all this karma. And maybe that's also true in this life, that the bulk, it's not until these energy shift we've been experiencing over the last 4 years that's really allowing us to go back and get the karma, but particularly the karma that's coming up in our face as wherever we've given our power away. And supernova souls, we've done it again and again, trusting the wrong person, trying to heal the black hole narcissist, sacrificing ourselves for everyone around us. And that is part of what's dying. That's a good example of what's completely dying, because we know that paradigm doesn't fit in and work, square peg round hole, like with the abundance economy. It's just not, there's no room for it. And so you can see how these constructs are coming up so that they can be just dismantled and dissolved. So that's kind of, it's alchemical, these energies. So we know we've got Pluto going back, now back in Capricorn until November 20th. But Pluto turns direct on October 12th. That's not that far away. We have to understand this is a little dip. Like, they don't have any control over us, actually. This is what the activation said. Like, we know we're sovereign. And how many of us need to stand and be like, we know we're sovereign. You do not have control over us on whatever galactic level. Some old contract we signed way before this evolution, it no longer stands, because this is the mother's world. And she claims her dominion, and all must come into alignment with her love. Life-giving, life-affirming, life-supporting, evolution-supporting. So it's going to be a rapid turnaround. There's just no doubt about it. And that's what's making this time feel so strange. But what if you felt like you were activated into your warrior place and you were like, oh yeah, come on, and you were guided along the way and you knew exactly what warrior act you needed to do for the mother in the next moment, and it might be helping someone, it might be speaking a truth, it might be connecting a dot, it might be off, doing some creative project, just listen for the signs and symbols. Stop planning and stop trying to figure it out, and be with her, love her, and wait till your next move comes forward. It's kind of what she says, because the road is not, it's kind of that picture of coming to the edge of this vortex. And as you come to the edge of this vortex of energy, you cannot find your way. It's the maze and confusion, and you think you're going this way and then you're turned around, going in circles. And it's like, only if you are completely focused can you make it through that confusion to get to the golden ticket. I don't know, whatever it is we're doing here, we definitely are getting the message that we want to be in the way, in the center way, coming back to the love, the mother's love, the Christ consciousness, and taking our place as the representatives of this energy, that now will be, the tables are turned for them to be showered with blessings and held in reverence rather than persecuted. It's just like, it's black and white. I mean, I guess that's part of the Piscean age. And now we're going to move through to some rainbow colors. Yeah? Technicolor dream. Are you ready? So here we go. Just keep breathing, keep loving. Know there's lots of changes happening. Support the detox in your body, and be really present with yourself and with the mother, with this commitment to your love, to the mother, to your truth, to your warrior status, to your part of the plan, to your paddle on her lotus. And what do I need to do, Mom? What's next? Rest, heal, love, be present. And if you don't have the next move, just wait. But we will see some movement. Now, we've had Mercury turn direct, but on the 29th of August, but with the new moon energies this last week, this last couple of days, we just had that Virgo new moon. New moon energies always have kind of a slow, spacey energy, and it takes about 3 days to get out. So it's going to be a couple days till we really feel Mercury beginning to move. And then that big shift when Mercury moves over back to Virgo on the 10th. And the end degrees, so the 8th to the 10th, like when Mercury has his third and final square with Uranus, that's very interesting energy. And we're looking at exactly getting clarity and movement on what exactly has been keeping us from feeling worthy and able to handle our higher intuitive power. So Mercury made 3 squares with Uranus, but the whole energy is like the beginning of the retrograde and the end is in Virgo, the beginning of Virgo. So it's saying like the Mercury retrograde was an activation of our visionary leaders, but through purification of the feminine and the earth. And that's the square to Uranus. So we purify the earth by coming back into our higher technology, basically saying, taking it back. And that's the mother saying, hey, you don't get to be in that vessel if you're going to give it over to AI. You don't get to use those resources if you're going to continue to traumatize humanity, you know? And so even the resources, the technologies in our bodies are going to be remade and reworked along with her plan. And this is the great planetary purge that we're in. So just be present with it, because remind yourself you're not stuck here. It's like not going to last forever. It's a preparation for something radically different that you can't even imagine. But Mother's got you back. You're back, and she's going to guide you all along the way. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll consider joining us for SuperNova Camas Hot Springs, happening September 20th through the 23rd in Hot Springs, Montana. A wonderful experience, opportunity to come together for a healing retreat, Supernova Souls. We're going to be working with Russ Anderson, talking and meditating and experiencing the primary waters here in this magical location, and map the continental divide and its connection to the Ring of Fire. Super exciting. And then connecting with the World Water Festival remotely live for a celebration of World Peace Day. People from all over the world talking to the waters and loving the waters and healing the waters. And this is when we take back our earth. So it's such a beautiful opportunity for SuperNova, Camas Hot Springs, and SuperNova Souls to connect in with this World Water Festival in Japan. Incredibly powerful energies. And also, there's a live painting workshop, Awakening Your Creative Fire, with Lauren Manticon in Santa Fe the last weekend of October. So consider those live events. There's more information. Sign up for those in the information box below. It's wonderful to be here with you, and thank you so much for your support. There's also a link to donate, to sign up for email updates, or to join the Supernova Soul Tribe membership group. Let's stay connected through these intense times. I love you so much, Supernova Souls. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.